It's time for the Week 8 podcast for your Princeton Vikings. Let's catch up with Joe Roberts. Joe, how are we doing this morning?
Great, Rob. How are you? It's a great Monday, isn't it? It's beautiful outside.
Yeah, it's a little warmer than normal, which I'll take. It's supposed to be 60s next week, but all good here. I still can't believe how fast this fall's going. Let's jump right into things. We got a full slate this morning. Let's start with boys and girls cross country. They're getting ready for GMC championships, which are October 14th. So I'm sure they're doing a lot of training and just recharging and getting ready for GMCs.
Yeah, we went to Norwood this past Saturday and captured our first win.
Oh,
So huge,
great.
huge shout out to our cross country program. I saw the girls, they came in afterwards to the water polo match and they were just extremely excited and just giddy about how they did. And looking forward to it. This week here, as we'll talk about a little later, it's homecoming week. We're going to have a week off, a week of rest. They will train, but with the schedule and the craziness of homecoming leading up to next Saturday's dance, there's no race this week, and then we'll get right back in, and we just go back to back. We'll go GMCs right into districts, and then hopefully head to Troy, and then hopefully head to Fortress Obetz Park. So a lot of good things happening in cross country. Super excited about the kids and just how they've been training all year, and they're starting to see the results that they put in the time for.
Joe, that's what I was just going to say. You know, we were talking about how they were young and learning and going to some really tough invitationals, and you're saying just watching them get better. And it's just so exciting to hear you talk about a win at Norwood. It's so gratifying for student athletes to just, aspire throughout a season and see success toward the end. It's just excellent.
Yeah, absolutely. And Norwood's it's a tricky course. It's a difficult course, according to the team. There's just a lot of neat turns, and it's not a traditional style cross country course that they may be used to. But hats off to Viking cross country.
That's just great, Joe. That's just absolutely fantastic. Let's go to the gridiron. The Vikings traveled 2 weeks in a row this week to Fairfield. Always tough Fairfield. It was close early, but they stuck with it, ground it down to a 35-14 victory, and things are rolling. I know that when we talked on Monday, Coach was going to have a tougher week of practice, and it seems like it paid off.
I think it did, Rob. I think that obviously what you just said earlier, incredible environment at Fairfield Friday night. It was their homecoming, and place was full. Of course, it was also the Skyline Chili Crosstown Showdown game of the week, and hats off to Tom Gamble and his team for what he does in that event, and just putting on a great atmosphere for high school students and high school football in general. But we went over there, and I've said it. I was a little bit hesitant about what may happen. I didn't feel like the kids were all intense or all into the week, but I think Coach Parker kind of changed that mindset. We start slow. We're a slow starting football team, but once we got into our groove and kind of got moving a little bit, things went really well. And once again, another great week. We came out relatively healthy. So we'll gear down this week for a very, very tough Middletown team for our homecoming game this week. And so the part this time is going to come around is we've got to minimize the distractions of everything that happens this week between the parade on Wednesday, the pep rally on Thursday, the kids looking ahead to Saturday night's dance. So, it's about focusing in, and of course, getting back home will certainly help that a little bit to be able to play back here. With only having 4 home varsity football games this year, it's been quite different in our schedule. So I think some of that's going to really play a role in what we do this Friday. But looking at the future weather forecast, we potentially could have some rain, but that may be different because we haven't seen it in a while. But you know what? Coach Parker and the staff are fully ready to go, and I think the kids are going to be ready. It's going to be an exciting week for us.
Yeah, a couple of things. I think Fairfield's are much better than 1-6, because I was breaking the films down Friday night, and I thought, man, this is a pretty good 1-6 football team. Which really,
without question, their record does not reflect their ability. Their record, at the end of the day, reflects a little bit about their schedule.
Right.
We can say what we want about Region 4 across the board. We can say what we want about our league, but night in and night out, you add Huber Heights Wayne to their mix, and you add what they go through from a league standpoint. I mean, it's anybody's game, and I think Coach Krause and his staff over there, they're doing the same thing that we're trying to do, and that's prepare for week 11 and beyond. So
Yeah, I agree.
it's just part of football.
Coach Simpson has taken over. A former Princeton coach has taken over the Middletown team and it's turning things around, coming down 3-4. And these are all, they lost to Hamilton, a tough Hamilton team, 18-14 on Friday. So we got to be ready on Friday because Middletown's coming down 75 to try to beat us. And
yeah, I think they're going to try, and who knows what Coach Simpson's thought process is in this, but I do believe slowing the game down is probably where a lot of the mindset is because of our speed.
Yes.
And,
on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, on both sides, 100%. Well, yeah, and in special teams. But, if we don't get out early and get in front of it, I think that's going to come back on us. And so we need to be prepared for what we need to do to take care of business on both sides. But I do think it could come down to that 18-14 type scenario. Right. And we've talked about this since about week 3. High school football, you take the W, you move forward, you get ready for the next game, you figure out what you did wrong or what you need to adjust, and that's the focus of it. It's not about putting up a whole bunch of points or blowing somebody out of the water right now. It is about making sure we're in week 8. You got to make sure you stay healthy. We have a very tough Middletown team coming in here, or I'm sorry, week 7. You've got a very tough Middletown team. You got a competitive at Coleraine game, which is never easy for us. Right. And then we close out with Sycamore to finish the regular season. So we've got to maintain the health. We got to make sure that we're managing our bodies. We got to make sure we're doing the right things there. And then we just got to prepare ourselves. It's a long grind. I mean, athletics is a long, hard grind. And so lot in front of us.
Yeah, a good week of practice always puts the best foot forward on Friday. Best of luck with all the homecoming events this week, Joe. It's an exciting time, especially with the way the football team's playing. So best of luck to everybody this week related to football. Let's go over to the links. Pretty similar to cross country. They're prepping for sectionals that are on Wednesday at Miami Whitewater. So nothing going on for golf until Wednesday, but second season starts then.
Yeah, it does. The boys are going to head over to Whitewater today for a practice round. We've had, and as we've talked about, they've had a lot of opportunity to play that golf course.
Yes.
And that golf course changes every time they play it, but that's the golf course. I mean, the greens are going to be different. The tee boxes are going to sit different. They've cut the fairways one day. They don't cut the fairways the other day. And so what the kids will see today is kind of like what they saw last Sunday, and that course is starting to get set up for the sectional tournament.
Okay.
So now it comes down to, are you able to put the ball in play? Are you able to get it on the green? Are you able to make the putt? Mm-hmm. Because we truly believe par can advance you. And so that's the key for our kids. We're a young team. Sophomores and juniors, respectfully, will make up we only had one senior this year.
Right.
We're a very young team that has seen a lot of upper level competition in the sport of golf. So they just need to go out there with a little bit of patience and play their game, and then we'll see what comes out of it after Wednesday.
Yeah, great for experience. Yeah, great for experience for them. Great. All right, let's switch to the pitch. Go boys soccer first. They have a league game tonight at Jake's Automotive Stadium, hosting Hamilton at 7:15. Should be a good match.
It's going to be a great match tonight. Boys soccer, volleyball, respectfully, are both playing tonight due to Thursday night's homecoming parade at Hamilton. So we made those adjustments so that they could accommodate their parade for their students as well. But tonight's senior night for boys soccer.
Oh, nice.
It's going to be a great opportunity. The JV will kick at 5:30. Then we'll have our senior recognition in between, followed by the varsity match from there. Coach Hyatt's really got the kids playing well. This will be a really good test for us. And again, we're hitting that point because next Sunday, the 8th, is the sectional seed meeting. So now we're playing ourselves into a position as he votes this week and as the coaches around us vote this week for where we fall in that seed, and that could come out to whether or not we're hosting a match or whether or not we're traveling or what have you. But he's really got some focus there, so it's going to be a good match tonight. Looking forward to watching it.
Good. On the girls' side, Tuesday, excuse me, New Richmond comes over to play at Jake Sweeney Automotive Stadium. 6 o'clock start for that one, so they're going to start winding down their season here end of next week and get ready for tournament play.
Yeah, and it'll be our senior night next week as well. We were originally supposed to travel to Hamilton tonight, but we had to make some adjustments, and we're doing some things there. And then, of course, next week, the 10th, we were supposed to play Kings, but now we have to have a makeup match with Lakota West to close out that season. But Coach Bannister and his team, we have the seed meeting again on the 8th. So we need this Hamilton-Ross combination leading up into the seed meeting to kind of put us in a position, give us a little bit of confidence heading into the draw.
Yeah, that sounds good. Switching to the hard court, Joe. Girls tennis looks like they start sectional tournament today.
Yeah, well, the seed meetings begin. Yeah, they're out and playing. So, hey, we'll get them going. They had a great, like I said last time, they had a great week at the city tournament. This past weekend, this past Thursday, Saturday, we were at the GMCs and saw some good things there. And so, I think Coach Bruning is just trying to figure out the right combination to get those girls through. And, you win a match in the sectional and get yourself into that sectional final, or even into that quarterfinal area. It's the ball can go either way. And if we can sneak our doubles team out, that would be wonderful to see. But just real proud of those girls and how they keep fighting.
In the sectionals, you get a win and it starts rolling and things get contagious. So it'd be exciting for them to have that happen. Let's go back inside. Let's talk volleyball. As you mentioned previously, senior night for girls volleyball, hosting Hamilton at Viking Arena, and that is scheduled to start at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, right around 6 o'clock. That freshman JV at 5, and then we'll recognize our seniors tonight in between the match, and then we'll get the varsity started. It's been an up and a down year for our girls, but Coach Weller and her team have done a very nice job of letting the girls play. In terms of it's a little bit more of a free type system for her, and so I'm looking forward to watching them tonight, so that we can kind of see what's up in front of us as we get ready for sectionals next week.
Yeah, and they also will on Tuesday we'll host Ross at 6 o'clock. So a non-league to help get ready for the tournament. Let's go back to the pool. Let's talk water polo for boys and girls. They've got let's see, Tuesday looks like Oakwood comes to the natatorium for a 6 and 7 for JV and varsity, and then probably Midwest Best was this past weekend. We were broadcasting some of. I can't believe how many matches were played this weekend. It was crazy.
Well, yeah, I'm going to talk about that for a second, because I really don't know when it started and when it ended. There was so much water polo going on this weekend, and it started. And I wasn't here. I was at our football game on Friday night, but it actually started with some skills contest or fun event. But that was a really neat event in terms of the fact that it was hosted by Mason, Princeton, and Cincinnati St. X. And you had teams from North Carolina here, Virginia here. I mean, they were all over the board. And yesterday morning, either the first or second match, it was a 7 o'clock match. So it may have been the first match of the day. St. Charles, who's ranked number 1 in the state, was playing some team, I think, out of North Carolina. And I said, Jiminy Christmas, they just, it was just like a dog match out there, back and forth, and this team was a formidable force, if you will. But the girls were gone yesterday. I think they played all of their matches at Mason. The boys were at X quite a bit, and saw some great results. Heard some great things about it. But the fact that we're hosting an event like that really helped us. The girls' regular season ended already. And then they'll get ready for regionals, which we actually are the host site for the girls' side of the regional. And then the boys will close out with Oakwood tomorrow. Going to be a really good match for them, good test for them, get them ready for the regional. And then, of course, we're all trying to qualify to head up to Upper Arlington, which
that's the goal.
Since I've been here, we've hosted the state championships here at Princeton. Now, all of a sudden, it's heading to Columbus. And, of course, it's Ohio State football weekend, and you're trying to jockey that around. But you know what? Upper Arlington got a new natatorium, and they're excited about being able to showcase it. So, we're going to try to qualify and get out and head up there.
Isn't it really exciting how water polo is growing in the high school level? You know, the schools with the pools and some others, you know, or the independents are trying to get it. It's really exciting. I mean, it's
Yeah,
a lot of
it
fun.
is, and I don't know. A couple of the schools and in listening to the water polo coaches in the state and what have you, they are starting to add seventh and eighth graders to their team in order to get them experience, in order to grow the game. And so here we're going to really have a strong conversation about that. Listening to what the Thomas Worthington coach was telling me 2 weeks ago at the Packer Classic, they bring their middle school kids in. They don't travel with the team, but they play home matches, they
Sure.
practice, they're around. And so some of that is a really great concept because water polo is that sport where you've got to have numbers. And so, in order to get those numbers, since we don't have the program at younger levels, unless you're a summer club player, if you will,
Right.
you need to do things like that. And the fact that it's not associated to the Ohio High School Athletic Association, you're able to navigate some of those different boundaries
Right.
versus following bylaws and regulations of the state association. So I think next year we're going to really look at adding at least an eighth grade component to it, just simply so that we can start exposing those kids to this sport and gain that interest and gain that momentum, so we have kids and we can keep it going. But it's such a fun sport to watch.
Yeah,
You
it
know,
really is, and it's
it,
exciting,
it
and
is.
yeah, it's really great. Well, let's wrap with the proud tradition of Viking athletics is excited to announce their 18th class of the Hall of Fame, which will be presented this weekend during homecoming, and it's a very proud tradition. Joe, do you want to just hit the names that
I do.
that are in the Hall of Fame for the 18th class?
I do, Rob. And again, our 18th class for the Princeton Viking Athletic Hall of Fame, we're gonna induct Emily Thomas and Darren Barnett, Eric Keys, Shane Curry, Steve Borden, and Mr. Don Darby this year. And just super excited about bringing everyone back. We've changed up the program a little bit. This will be the first time we will recognize all of the individuals Friday night at our football game. And then we're going to do a brunch style format here at the school on Saturday morning,
Nice.
starting at approximately 10 o'clock, and recognize these individuals. We realize it's traditionally been an evening dinner, but a lot of them are coming from out of town. It's also our homecoming weekend. So, there may be homecoming activities that are going on, whether it's a class reunion or they're involved in our dance with our kids or what have you. We just felt that this was a better way to do it. So we're gonna try it with this group. And then of course, Mr. Darby is also the grand marshal to the parade this coming
Oh,
Wednesday. So
excellent.
that'll be great to see as well. So just really excited about these seven individuals that we have coming in. And I remember, I mean, obviously I was here, my first year was Emily. And
Hmm.
so really it's going to be great to see her, but to hear some of the stories about the other inductees has been just a fascinating tale of the Princeton history and tradition. And so hats off to the
That's
Hall of
great.
Fame committee that selected this group for this year's class.
Sounds great. Well, congratulations to them. All the best to all the student athletes this week. Hope it's a great homecoming parade and game. And Joe, we'll touch base next week.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Rob.